Gentlemen, if you're tired of it taking 30 minutes or even longer to bring your partner to climax, or if she struggles to finish even when you're both trying your hardest, this video is going to change everything. In just the next 15 minutes, I'm going to reveal 5 bedroom techniques that not only drive a woman wild with pleasure, but also help her finish faster and harder, sometimes in half the time it usually takes, or even in just a couple of minutes. And the best part? You can use these techniques as soon as tonight and watch your partner experience intense pleasure right in front of you. I'm Dr. Lila Romano, a board-certified urologist, and I've spent over a decade helping men reclaim their confidence, their vitality, and their intimate satisfaction. Make sure you stay until the very end of this video because technique number 5 is about a simple angle adjustment that 97% of women say makes them climax 3 times harder and 4 times faster. I'm exaggerating when I tell you that most men have absolutely no idea this even exists. If you want to become the kind of lover she can't stop thinking about, type yes in the comments down below. Now, before we get into the techniques, let me establish why you should trust what I'm about to tell you. A landmark study published in the Journal of Sexual Medicine found that specific angle adjustments during oral stimulation increased orgasm intensity by up to 300%. Let me repeat that. 300%. These aren't theories I'm pulling out of thin air. This is clinical science backed by real research. I had a patient, a 58-year-old gentleman, who came to me completely frustrated. He'd been with his partner for over 20 years, and for the past several months, intimacy had become this source of stress instead of pleasure. He was doing everything he thought he should be doing, but nothing seemed to work. I sat down with him and taught him these exact 5 techniques you're about to learn. Within 2 weeks, he came back to my office, and I'm not exaggerating, he was beaming. He told me, "Dr. Romano, my partner said it was the best intimacy we've had in 20 years. I feel like I'm 30 again." That's the power of what you're about to learn. These aren't complicated. All right, let's get started with technique number 1. Use a vibrator strategically. Now, I know what some of you are thinking right now. Dr. Romano, I don't need a vibrator. I can do this myself. I can satisfy her with my mouth, my hands, or during penetration. And look, I'm not saying you can't. You absolutely can satisfy her in all of those ways. But here's the reality that I need you to understand. There's only so much the human body can do. And if you're ever in a situation where it's taking too long, where you're getting tired, where she's getting frustrated, and you want to speed things up and practically guarantee she finishes, a vibrator is a tool you need to seriously consider. Here's why this matters so much. About 75 to 80% of women need direct clitoral stimulation to reach orgasm. That's not my opinion. That's clinical data from thousands of women. It is by far the fastest and most reliable route to orgasm for most women. And no matter how skilled you are with your tongue or how good you are with your fingers, a vibrator can speed things up in ways no human can. It's literally designed for this exact job. But here's where it gets really interesting, and this is the part most men don't understand about female orgasms. It's only the first orgasm that takes the longest. Once she's had that first climax, her body enters this highly sensitive state. All of those nerve endings are already activated. Blood flow to the area has increased. Her arousal is peaked. At that point, if you switch to oral stimulation, manual stimulation, or penetration, it becomes much, much easier to make her climax again. Not just once, but potentially multiple times. And it happens faster too, sometimes in just a couple of minutes. So think of a vibrator as your speed booster. It gets her to that first climax quickly and reliably, and then you take over and bring her to multiple peaks without nearly as much effort. Now, let me give you some specific guidance here. Wand-style vibrators provide broader stimulation, which works well for women who prefer a more diffused sensation. Bullet vibrators offer pinpoint precision, perfect for women who know exactly where they need that stimulation. The key is holding it at the right pressure. You're not grinding it against her, you're providing consistent, steady contact. That's why a vibrator is such a valuable tool in your arsenal. It's not a replacement for you, it's a strategic enhancement that sets the stage for everything else you're about to do. Now let's move to technique number 2, and this one is absolutely critical. Lead the way. For a woman to fully enjoy intimacy and reach climax, she has to completely let go. She needs to forget about everything else. The stress from work, the worries about the kids, the mental to-do list running through her head. She has to check all of that at the door and just experience the pleasure of the moment. When she's in this state, when her mind is completely quiet and focused only on sensation, she can climax way faster. But here's the key that most men miss. Women can only relax and let go if you're the one leading things forward confidently. Leadership is one of the most attractive qualities you can bring to the bedroom. When a woman sees a man take charge with confidence, when she sees that you know exactly what you want and you're not hesitating, it is incredibly arousing. But what does leadership in the bedroom actually mean? It's simple. It means you know what you want. You have an idea, a plan for how things should proceed, and you're the one guiding the interaction forward. You're making the decisions so she doesn't have to think. She can just feel. Let me paint you a picture of what this looks like in practice. Let's say you're in the bedroom and you start by kissing her deeply, passionately. Then you move to her neck, kissing and gently biting. After a few moments, you pull back, you look directly into her eyes, and then you kiss her again. You run your hands along her body, giving her gentle touches, confident squeezes. Then maybe you remove her top, or you tell her in a calm, confident voice to take it off. See what's happening here? You're leading the journey. You have a plan for how things should go, and you're executing it without hesitation. You're directing the flow of events, and she doesn't have to think about anything. She doesn't have to wonder what comes next. She doesn't have to make decisions. You've made them for her, and she can just experience the pleasure you're creating. This needs to continue as things get more intense. You want to go down on her? Put her on the bed, part her legs, and do it. You want to spend time on other parts of her body, her breasts, her neck, her thighs? Do it. When it comes to positions, tell her what you want and confidently help her get into those positions. Now, let me be very clear about something. This isn't about being demanding or ignoring what she wants. It's about taking the lead while being open and responsive to her reactions. If she doesn't like something, she'll let you know. But you lead. You're the director of this experience. The most important thing with leadership is eliminating any hesitant, uncertain behavior. When you want to do something, you go for it. You don't second-guess yourself, you fully commit. So if you want to try a different position, don't ask timidly, would you maybe want to try? No. Turn her around confidently and position her, or tell her in a strong, clear voice exactly what you want. Show her that you've made a decision and you're going for it. Don't give her the burden of making decisions in the bedroom. If you can follow that one rule, you will make it so much easier for her to climax as fast as she's capable of. This brings us to technique number 3, and this is one of the most underutilized but incredibly powerful tools you have. Praise and feedback. Praise is an incredibly effective way to help a woman finish faster, and there are 2 main psychological reasons why. First, during intimacy, most women have a lot of insecure thoughts running through their minds. And I mean constantly. Do I look good right now from this angle? Is he really turned on by me? Are my breasts too small? Does this feel good for him? Is he getting tired? The list goes on and on. Contrary to what most men imagine, a woman isn't lying there judging how well you're performing. 9 out of 10 times, no matter how beautiful and confident she appears on the outside, she's in her own head feeling unsure and worrying about what you're thinking of her. This means she's in a state where she cannot fully relax and enjoy the moment. She's too caught up in her head, disconnected from her body. But when you praise and appreciate her, when you give her genuine, specific feedback, you start to melt all of that insecurity away. Those negative thoughts fade into the background, and she gets pulled back into the moment with you. Her focus shifts from her mind to her body, and that's when pleasure can really build. So let me give you some specific examples of what to say. You look so incredible right now. It feels amazing to be inside you. You smell so good. Your skin feels so soft. God, you turn me on so much. Any sort of positive, genuine feedback helps her switch off that insecure, overthinking mind and allows her to experience pleasure fully. And when she can do that, it becomes so much easier for her to reach climax. But there's a second reason why praise works so powerfully, and this gets to the heart of female arousal. Female arousal is deeply, deeply tied to feeling wanted and desired. What turns women on most isn't just physical touch, it's the feeling of being craved. We spend so much of our lives taking care of other people's needs. We're taking care of kids, managing households, supporting partners, handling responsibilities at work. In the bedroom, we want to let loose and feel like we're the absolute center of attention. We want to feel like you want us, you crave us, you desire us more than anything else in the world at that moment. We want to feel like you're consumed by this powerful attraction to us, and we want you to show it, not just with your actions, but with your words. Praise and positive feedback is the simplest, most direct way to communicate that desire, and therefore, it's one of the simplest ways to get a woman incredibly aroused, making it so much easier for her to finish. So don't hold back. Tell her what you're thinking, tell her what you're feeling, make her feel like the most desirable woman in the world, because in that moment, to you, she should be. Now we move to technique number 4, and this is one that most men completely underestimate. Make eye contact. Eye contact is a powerful pleasure booster for women. Locking eyes with her as you're touching her body, as you're moving together, creates an instant sense of connection, intimacy, and intensity that you simply cannot replicate any other way. Yeah, shows her that you're fully present with her, that you're not distracted, that you're taken by her, captivated by her, and that feeling makes the entire experience more electric, more intense, more memorable. Most guys look at the woman they're with during intimacy. They glance at her body, they watch what they're doing, but they don't usually gaze into her eyes and have that moment of deep, sustained connection. That's why this is such an underutilized technique. It's hard for men to realize just how incredibly powerful eye contact can be during intimacy. But trust me on this, women crave this. Let me tell you what's happening in her brain when you lock eyes with her during intimacy. Oxytocin releases. That's the bonding hormone, the same chemical that mothers produce when holding their newborns. It creates a sense of trust, safety, and deep emotional connection. Her amygdala activates, which is the part of the brain responsible for processing emotions. This intensifies everything she's feeling, and mirror neurons fire, creating a neurological sense of shared experience and pleasure. This isn't just romantic poetry. This is neuroscience. You are literally changing her brain chemistry in ways that amplify her arousal and make her climax more intense. If you combine eye contact with the other techniques in this video, the effect is devastatingly powerful. For example, if you look deeply into her eyes and say, "You look so beautiful right now," or "It feels so good to be with you," it's going to send waves of pleasure through her entire body. In fact, sometimes even just pausing whatever you're doing to look at her, to really see her, can send shivers down her spine. If you're kissing her passionately, try this. Pull back for just a second, just to gaze into her eyes, and then kiss her again. That pause, that moment of connection, is incredibly arousing. So please try this. Don't just look at her. Lock eyes with her from time to time throughout your intimate experience. And I promise you, you will instantly amplify the pleasure she's feeling in that moment. It's one of the simplest adjustments you can make, and it has profound effects. And now, gentlemen, we arrive at technique number 5, the angle technique that changes everything. This is the secret that 97% of women say makes them finish not just faster, but 3 times harder. And it's so simple, so straightforward, that most men completely overlook it. If you've been waiting for the main event, this is it. Pay very close attention to this section, because what I'm about to show you will transform your intimate life. Here's what most men get wrong. They approach oral intimacy from a straight-on position, head-on, tongue flat, applying consistent pressure directly to the clitoris. They think that direct contact is all that matters. And while that approach does provide some stimulation, here's the problem. You're missing about 70% of the pleasure structure. You're only hitting the tip of the iceberg, and you're leaving the vast majority of her nerve endings completely untouched. Let me give you an anatomy lesson that will change how you think about female pleasure forever. The clitoris isn't just that small external button you can see. That little external part is just the tip. The clitoris is actually a large, complex internal structure. It has legs called crura that extend 3 to 4 inches down along the vaginal walls on both sides. These internal legs contain thousands upon thousands of nerve endings. In fact, the clitoris as a whole has over 8,000 nerve endings. That's more nerve endings than any other part of the human body, male or female. More than the fingertips, more than the penis. 8,000 nerve endings dedicated entirely to pleasure. When you approach from a straight-on angle, when you're going directly at the external tip, you're only stimulating that tiny visible portion. You're ignoring all of those internal nerve endings in the crura. It's like trying to ring a doorbell by pushing the wall next to it. You might get some response, but you're completely missing the main event. You're stimulating maybe 30% of the available nerve endings, when you could be stimulating all of them. Here's the adjustment that changes everything. Instead of approaching head-on, tilt your head upward. Position yourself so that your tongue makes contact at roughly a 45-degree angle. Think of it like this. Instead of coming straight at the clitoris, you're approaching from below, angling upward. This angle allows your tongue to stimulate both the clitoral hood on the outside and the internal legs of the clitoris simultaneously. You're hitting the entire structure, not just the tip. Now let me give you the specific positioning that makes this work. Place your hands on her inner thighs. Apply gentle but firm upward pressure. This does two things. It opens the area, giving you better access, and it pulls the skin taut, which exposes more of the clitoral complex. Think of it like opening a book. You're creating space and access. Now, with your head tilted upward at that 45-degree angle, use broad, flat tongue strokes. Not just the tip of your tongue, but the entire flat surface. Apply firm pressure, but not aggressive pressure. There's a difference. You want consistent, deliberate contact, not rough grinding. Maintain a consistent rhythm. This is absolutely critical. Don't vary your speed. Don't change your pattern. Consistency is what builds arousal and leads to orgasm. And here's a pro tip. Breathe through your nose so you don't have to pause or come up for air. That consistency is everything. Now, as you're doing this, read her body language. When you hit the right angle, when you found that sweet spot, you'll feel her body respond. Her muscles will tense. Her breathing will get faster and shallower. Her hands might grip the sheets or your head. These are all signs that what you're doing is working. When you see these signs, do not change anything. Stay the course. Keep that exact angle, that exact rhythm, that exact pressure. Here's why this works so powerfully. This 45-degree angle creates a cascade effect throughout her entire pelvic region. You're stimulating the external clitoral glands and the internal clitoral legs at the same time. Nerve endings fire across the entire clitoral network, not just that little external tip. Blood flow increases dramatically to the whole structure, creating engorgement and heightened sensitivity. The result is that she climaxes 3 times harder because the sensation is full body, not just surface level. It's a deep, intense, overwhelming pleasure. And she climaxes 4 times faster because you're activating all of the pleasure pathways simultaneously instead of just one small area. This one adjustment can literally cut her time to climax in half or more. Pay attention to how she responds when you change your angle. I promise you, you'll notice the difference immediately. Her body will tell you everything you need to know. And here's the real beauty of this technique. It works even better when you combine it with the other 4 techniques we've covered. Use this 45-degree angle while leading confidently, while praising her genuinely, while making eye contact. That combination of psychological arousal and precise physical stimulation is absolutely unstoppable. Now, let me also tell you the common mistakes that will kill the effectiveness of these techniques. Mistake number one, changing technique midstream. Once you find the right angle, once she's responding, once you can see her body building toward orgasm, do not vary what you're doing. So many men get nervous or overthink it and change their rhythm or their angle right when she's about to climax. Don't do that. Stay consistent. Mistake number two, too much pressure. The clitoris is the most sensitive part of the human body. It's incredibly responsive, but it's also delicate. Firm pressure doesn't mean hard pressure. There's a big difference. You want deliberate, consistent contact, not aggressive grinding. If you're pressing so hard that it's uncomfortable for you, it's definitely too hard for her. Mistake number three, forgetting the first four techniques. The angle alone won't work if you skip the buildup. You need confident leadership. You need praise. You need eye contact. You need to get her aroused first. The 45-degree angle is incredibly powerful, but it's not magic. It works within the context of a complete, connected, intimate experience. Mistake number four, making it mechanical. Yes, I'm giving you specific techniques. Yes, there's a formula here, but don't turn this into a robotic checklist. Stay present, stay connected, stay passionate. Technique is a tool to enhance intimacy, not replace it. The warmth, the desire, the genuine connection you bring to the experience matters just as much as the physical technique. So, gentlemen, try these 5 techniques the next time you're intimate. Pay close attention to how she responds, and drop a comment below telling about your experience. I read every single comment. This is Dr. Lila Romano, and I will see you in the next video.